the Lord's Supper. But a few years ago, there was a man by the name of Jim Jones. He got thousands of people to drink cups of poison.
All right.
I wonder, why is it that we can't get that kind of people to follow Jesus? Now I think it has to do with the fact that as Christians, because there are other religious affiliations that men will follow, but we don't want to follow Jesus. Why is it that thousands of men will join up with Islam? Why is it that black men will take a mat about 3 times a day and lay it down on the floor, lay it down on the ground, and get down toward the east and begin to call on Allah? But why can't we get men to lead prayer service in our church? I wonder, my brother and sister, what was it about Jesus that he was able to get 12 men to leave their houses, their land, and their business to follow him? Well, this is another thing that bugged me and problem that I have with them following him, because Jesus told some of them. He said, foxes have hope. The birds of the air have nests. But the Son of God, the Son of Man, does not have anywhere to lay his head. So I wonder, my brothers and sisters, here at Ball Rock, why is it that 12 men would follow a man who was a homeless person? I wonder, why was it that they would follow a man that didn't have a home, didn't have a bank account? Now, I don't know many men in Ball Rock that would get up and follow somebody who was a homeless person. I don't know too many men who would follow a man that didn't have some money in his pocket. I don't know about y'all, but I want to make sure I'm traveling with somebody that if I'm riding with them, they got some gas in the car, they got some money in their pocket, their insurance is okay, and their tag registration is okay. I don't understand, why is it that these 12 men would drop their necks and follow Jesus? Well, I'm going to let that soak in for a minute, because it's amazing when we think about 12 men. And the number 12 represents the number of government. And I heard a preacher say back in October, he said, if you want to get a group of men together, if you can't get 12 together, get your 2 or 3. Because I'm talking about Jesus had 12 men. But sometimes all 12 of them wouldn't go with him. Sometimes it was only 3 men. Can I get a witness here? I'm reminded here that one day Jesus went up on the mountain of transfiguration. Well, he only took Peter, James, and John. And he left the 9 down at the mountain. And the Bible said that when he came back, that the other 9 was upset. Because Jesus had not taken them up on the mountain. But how was it that Jesus was able to get 12 men to follow him all the way pretty much to the cross? Well, I believe that 2 reasons why Jesus was able to get these men to follow him. The number 1 reason was he accepted them for who they were. So many times in our lives, we're always trying to change folk instead of letting God do the changing. God knew that they were fishermen. God knew that they were no good. God knew that they were crooks. God knew that they went up to nothing. But God chose them anyway. God looked among the 12. He realized that one was going to betray him. He knew another was going to deny him. But he still picked them anyway. So I believe that the reason why that he chose them was he let them be who they were. Can I get a witness? I believe in the church, if we would just let more men come in and be men and let God do the rest. And we're not trying to change them, but let the word change them. Can I get a witness? I've discovered that the map is a thing that gives us direction. Where the Bible from Genesis to Revelation will give us direction. But one thing I've learned about a map ain't no good if you don't know where you are. Can I get a witness here? You can look at where you're going, but you'll never get there if you don't know where you are. Can I get a witness in here? So Jesus, let them be who they were. The second reason I believe that he chose these men was, secondly, because he knew that he could change them. He knew that he had a job for them to do. And he knew that all of them were qualified to do whatever they needed to do. No, they had been to the university. No, they had been to the colleges. But Jesus said, I'm the professor. I'm the one that's going to do the teaching. And he said, if you just follow me, the only requirement is that you don't go back home and tell nobody. You got to come right now. You got to get a witness. So I'm trying to tell you, men, that if you just make yourself available to Jesus, he will make you to become official of me. Can I get a witness? I see in the text, my brothers and sisters, that they were mending their nets. They were taking care of the nets. And I got to stop long enough to tell you something about nets. I'm not a fisherman, but I know one thing, that typically when people go fishing, they use a bait or hook. And see, when you go fishing with a bait or hook, you take the bait and you put the kind of bait on the hook of the kind of fish that you want to attract. But when you let down a net, you can't be choosy what kind of fish you're going to get in the net. Can I get a witness? I believe over in Luke chapter 5, he said, let down your nets for a drought. Peter said, at thy word, we done been cleaning our nets. We done been out there all night long, and we ain't caught nothing. But he said, at thy word, we will not let down the nets, but we'll let down one net, because we don't want to mess up our nets. But nothing in the Bible says that once they let down the net, draw some fish that you won't want to draw. Can I just go down to this a minute here? You know, in all kind of fish, there's a goldfish that you can drop down the net, and you might get some goldfish. Now, the only thing about a goldfish is just good to look at. Can I get a witness? Some folks get drawn in the church, they're going to be like goldfish. They're just going to be good to look at. They ain't good for nothing else until Jesus changed them. Also, when you let down the net, you're going to get some catfish. Get a witness here. Now, catfish, I love catfish, but catfish is a scavenger. Catfish is a garbage bin. Every once in a while, when you let down your net, you're going to draw some catfish in. You're going to draw some folk in who like to carry a whole lot of mess. But keep on letting your net down. Also, when you let your net down, you're going to draw in some barracudas. Can I get a witness? What are barracudas? Barracudas like to tear stuff. Can I get a witness? Some folk come to all up and I'm feeling pretty good right now. All they want to do is just tear stuff. Can I get a witness here? Also, when you let down the net, you're going to draw in some piranhas. Can I get a witness here? Piranhas are small fish, but they travel in groups. Y'all don't get it. Some folks in the church can't go nowhere unless they travel in a group. Can I get a witness? In some of our churches, when we see church folk get together, that's sure we know they're scheming on us. Can I get a witness? They're having a meeting on us. But that's all right. Let down the net anyway. After a while, they say a piranha, a school of piranhas can eat up a whole man in just a matter of seconds. But you know what? I ain't got no problem with that, because Jesus told me to let